Peace be upon you all, and welcome to our gathering of hearts and minds. When considering the world's most significant Muslim communities, attention often turns to familiar landscapes: Indonesia's vast island chain, Pakistan's deeply ingrained Islamic culture, or Egypt's ancient mosques standing as eternal symbols of faith. Yet there exists another nation, distant from Middle Eastern and Asian centers, that commands attention in this global conversation. A country in Africa's very core, where the call to prayer reverberates through vibrant marketplaces and arid settlements alike. That nation is Nigeria. Many beyond Africa's borders remain unaware that Nigeria hosts one of the planet's largest Muslim populations. Current estimates indicate over 100 million followers of Islam, making Nigeria home to Africa's most substantial Muslim community. This number represents not some future calculation, but present reality, actively shaping countless lives today. Remarkably, Nigeria's Muslim population surpasses the combined totals of several Arab nations. Yet discussing Islam in Nigeria transcends mere statistics or numerical charts. Here, Islamic faith intertwines with society's very fabric, influencing daily routines, cultural practices, and even political dynamics. This belief system arrived centuries ago via Saharan trade routes, gradually becoming inseparable from the people's history and identity. Comprehending Nigeria necessitates understanding its Islamic dimension: complex, diverse, profoundly established, and continuously evolving. Islam's narrative in Nigeria merges inseparably with West Africa's broader historical tapestry. Its arrival dates to the 11th century, transported not by conquerors, but commercial traders. Across the Sahara's immense and hazardous sands, merchant caravans journeyed between North Africa and the Sahel, carrying not merely salt, gold, and ivory, but also concepts, values, and religious conviction. These trans-Saharan trade networks first introduced Islam to territories that would later constitute Nigeria. North African merchants, frequently Berber and Arab traders, served as more than commercial intermediaries. They became Islam's earliest ambassadors, introducing local rulers and communities to the faith's foundational principles. Gradually, Islam gained foothold among the Kanem-Bornu Empire, one of the Lake Chad region's most ancient and powerful kingdoms. By the 11th and 12th centuries, Kanem-Bornu's rulers had embraced Islam and integrated it into state administration and diplomatic relations. Conversion among leadership often accelerated Islamic practices through court ceremonies, governance structures, and legal systems, granting the religion both legitimacy and prestige. From Kanem-Bornu, Islam's influence expanded westward and southward, eventually reaching the Hausa city-states. These Hausa kingdoms, Kano, Katsina, Zaria, among others, flourished as commercial and cultural centers. As Islam spread among their rulers and scholars, it evolved beyond personal spiritual commitment into a societal organizational framework. Mosques rose, Islamic schools established, and Arabic literacy prospered. The Fulani people, particularly following their migration and settlement, would subsequently prove instrumental in molding Nigeria's Islamic heritage, blending governance, education, and jurisprudence with Islamic principles. Islam's presence always extended beyond politics and law, penetrating deep into ordinary existence, influencing artistic expression, architectural styles, and cultural traditions. Qur'anic schools, locally called makaranta, proliferated, teaching children not only Qur'anic recitation, but also instilling discipline and ethical values. Sharia law began complementing existing local systems, progressively transforming judicial administration and inheritance practices. Through these developments, Islam established itself as a force shaping society's fundamental structures. Equally significant were the Sufi Brotherhood's contributions. Orders like Qadiriya and Tijaniya offered more than theological instruction. They provided spiritual pathways resonating deeply with ordinary believers. The Sufi emphasis on devotion, divine remembrance, and spiritual guidance strengthened faith's inner dimensions, creating communal bonds and resilience. These networks of Sufi teachers and disciples proved vital for sustaining Islam across generations, ensuring it remained not merely an elite religion of rulers and scholars, but a lived experience for agricultural workers, traders, and pastoral communities alike. By the medieval period's conclusion, Islam in Nigeria had firmly established itself, weaving together threads of commerce, governance, scholarship, and spirituality. What commenced with handfuls of merchants crossing deserts had grown into a defining element of identity for entire regions. Islam no longer represented external influence. It had become fundamentally Nigerian, leaving a historical legacy that continues shaping the nation today. Nigeria frequently appears as a nation of contrasts, and this dichotomy is most evident in the distinct division between northern and southern regions. This separation extends beyond geography into cultural, religious, and historical dimensions, profoundly forming national identity. Northern Nigeria predominantly follows Islam. Here, Islamic faith has guided societal development for centuries, influencing governance, education, and community life. Several northern states formally implement Sharia law, addressing personal conduct, family matters, and certain criminal justice aspects. Sharia courts operating alongside state institutions demonstrate Islam's enduring role as both belief system and legal framework. Cities like Kano, Sokoto, and Maiduguri are recognized not only for commercial energy, but profound Islamic heritage. Mosques dominate skylines, Qur'anic schools remain central to community existence, and Friday prayers unite thousands in public demonstrations of faith and solidarity. Conversely, southern Nigeria presents a different narrative. Here, Christianity predominates, initially introduced by 19th-century European missionaries and deeply established since. Churches mark urban and rural landscapes, with denominations from Catholic to Anglican to Pentecostal significantly contributing to education, healthcare, and social services. While Christianity defines southern religious majority, the situation lacks uniformity. Southern cities like Lagos, Idan, and Port Harcourt host substantial and dynamic Muslim communities. These nations often demonstrate vibrancy and influence, actively participating in commerce, politics, and civic life, reminding observers that Nigeria's religious landscape resists simplistic north-south categorization. Beneath religious divisions lies another crucial identity layer: ethnicity. In northern regions, the Hausa Fulani constitute dominant groups, their history deeply connected to Islam, the Sokoto Caliphate, and traditions of Islamic scholarship and leadership. Southern demographics shift dramatically. The Yoruba people, concentrated southwest, exhibit religious diversity, embracing Islam, Christianity, and indigenous beliefs, often within single extended families. Meanwhile, the Igbo of southeast regions overwhelmingly follow Christianity, emphasizing entrepreneurship, education, and community networks. These ethnic identities, interwoven with religious affiliation, have molded political alliances, social structures, and even conflicts, rendering Nigeria simultaneously united and tense. Understanding Islam in Nigeria requires looking beyond statistics and historical records into daily life's rhythms. For millions of Nigerian Muslims, faith does not represent a compartmentalized identity aspect, but integrated into existence's very fabric. Each day commences before sunrise, with the azan of the call to prayer echoing through neighborhoods. In Nigeria, Politics has never been concerned merely about parties or ideologies. It has always been about balance. Balance between regions, balance between ethnicities, and perhaps most critically, balance between religions. With a population nearly evenly divided between Muslims and Christians, political leaders remain intensely aware that national stability depends on carefully managing these identities. Since civilian rule resumed in 1999, religion has assumed particularly visible roles in Nigeria's political landscape. That same year, 12 northern states formally incorporated Sharia law into their legal systems. For many northern Muslims, this represented a long-awaited affirmation of religious identity and moral order. Sharia courts began adjudicating issues from family law to criminal offenses, often parallel